Hey guys, how's it going? Today we are going to install a couple of Cali Raised sliders onto a 2018 4Runner. Never made a video before, so this will be a first, so bear with me. Used a lot of YouTube videos over the years to figure out how to do stuff, whether it's installs or just learning about different products. So hopefully today, whatever I end up doing with these sliders will end up helping you. I'll try to keep it less of a review and more of just a straight install. Although I will kind of go over the sliders just briefly so you can take a look at them before I install them.
So here we have the passenger side slider. As you can see, these top plates are removable. They come with hardware to fasten them onto the slider. One of the things I thought was cool and why I have actually both the passenger and driver side step plates over here is they're actually reversible. So if you wanted to go with the raised dimple as opposed to the recessed dimple, turn this over, it's recessed, all you have to do is flip the different sides. So here is with the raised dimple on the passenger side. That's actually what I think I'm going to go with in the end. Thought it gave a little bit better traction. But if you wanted to, you could do the recessed dimple, which I thought was kind of a cool feature. I don't know how many other companies use it or do their products like that, but I thought this one was kind of cool that they did that on both sides. One of the other reasons I purchased these sliders was more for the aesthetic design. So as you can see here, even on the step out, it's a little more curved and angled in, a little more, it hugs the body lines, I think, a little bit better than some of the other sliders I've seen. You know, we'll have to see what the final product is once it's on the vehicle, but that was one of the you know, points that I thought was cool on these sliders and why I chose to purchase them. So here's the driver's side slider with the step plate resting on there. As you can see, the construction on the driver's side versus the passenger side is a little different. Obviously, the mounting plates are slightly different. The holes on the mounting plates are a little different. And on this side, there's actually a couple of extra brackets that need to be installed. Here they are here. And, you know, one of the first things I did do was make these templates for the mounting plates, just to give me a better or easier way to kind of mock up where things need to go, find the holes. On my vehicle, I have KDSS, which you have to remove a few of the lines to be able to position the slider onto the frame. So I use these templates to give, you know, to allow me the ability to find all the holes, move everything into place, figure out what needs to be removed without actually having to lift, you know, 80 or 90 pounds of a slider onto the vehicle to try and mock things up. So not something you necessarily need to do, but certainly something that helped me was making these templates here. And I just, again, made them out of cardboard. It was actually a FedEx shipping tube box. It was actually the perfect size for making all these plates. One box was enough, and I was able to make the templates for both sides. So hopefully that helps you guys. It certainly helped me, and I think you'll see why in a few moments. All right, guys, so here's a look at the hardware that comes with the kit. They did a pretty good job of making it, you know, fairly easy for you. Obviously, the majority of the kit are these 13 millimeter bolts that come with the kit, again with washers and locking washers that go on top of those. That's what holds on the majority of the slider plates. You'll need obviously a 13 millimeter socket. The existing factory hardware is a 12 millimeter socket, so when you're removing bolts, you'll need a 12 mil. You'll need a couple of 19 millimeter sockets for these larger bolts. It took me a while to figure out where these went, so hopefully this video will make it a little easier for you when you're installing yours. Obviously there's washers for these. I've yet to figure out exactly how many washers will be used or if they just supplied extras. Not sure if they want you to put washers on both sides or not, so we'll figure out. We'll see what it looks like when it's on the vehicle and when I'm mocking it up. A couple of bolts for the additional mounting brackets. Obviously, you'll need a 3/16 Allen wrench and a 13 millimeter socket for the step plates, mounting those on. And then the last thing you'll need are these, either a screwdriver or a trim removal tool. There's a couple of plastic plugs on the frame that you'll need to remove to mount a couple of bolts. Actually, it's these bolts right here. But other than that, it seems to be pretty straightforward. So hopefully, laying this out will give you guys a better idea of the tools you'll need to get the job done.
All right, guys, so for the purpose of this video, I am gonna cheat a little bit. I am gonna use a lift for the install. So it doesn't need one, but it certainly could be done on the ground. But I think just for the purposes of this video and getting you guys a better angle, a better vantage point of actually what's being installed and where, hopefully the lift will help a little bit. But again, you don't need one. I just happen to have one, so we're gonna use it in this situation. All right, so let's go ahead and get the car up in the air. All right, guys, so everything's back on. Driver's side slider is on. All the KDSS lines are back on. The skid plates are back on. Everything's tightened down. I'm a little sweaty. Took a little while. Probably going on, 3 hours of actual work. Fiddling with the video and stuff. Probably closer to 4 hours. They said somewhere in between 2 to 3 hours. I think 2.5 is probably about right. Unless you're using air wrenches to, get all of the bolts in, it's just a lot of cranking on the socket wrench. I could have used air tools, but I didn't want to misthread anything or go too fast. So hand tools were the way to go here. So about 2.5 hours of actual work, and we'll take it down now and see how she looks. All right, here we go with a little walk around. Show you guys the final product. I also have the Cali Raised light bar installed. If anybody's interested in that, great product as well. Pretty cool gift from my girlfriend for Valentine's Day was the rigged 5th tire holder. Swings out. It's kind of a cool feature. Pretty nice for camping and stuff like that. You also got the table to mount on the back there on the Rago plate, which fold down, do your cooking and stuff. Pretty cool. Obviously gives you direct access to hatch and stuff. Tons of crap in the back, chains and all kinds of other stuff. But did install
Rago rear window plates as well. But love kind of having stuff up and out of the way, especially for camping trips. It's real nice when you can have room in the car when you're driving. So anyway, I also installed the Prinsu full-length roof rack. It's the no drill option. You know, there's a lot of mixed reviews about roof racks on the internet, on the forums, whatever you want to listen to. But I'm actually pretty impressed with the overall quality of it. Went on really easy. Actually ended up watching another YouTube video on how to do it, which is kind of what inspired me to create this video. But for anybody that's interested in a roof rack, it's actually a pretty decent option amongst all the different options that are out there.
So I guess, you know, one last thing for the video. Probably won't do another one, so might as well get it all in on one. You know, I'm sure there'll be comments on whether or not it's an actual TRD Pro or not. Obviously, it's not. I mentioned that earlier in the video. It's a off-road premium. I was pricing out pros for months and months, and really, I mean, I live in California, and pretty much anywhere I was noticing, but especially in California, you really can't find a pro for less than 12, 13, 14 over sticker. I'm sure if you're a good haggler and you know you find the right dealership that's trying to unload one, you might get lucky, but I pretty much gave up, and I came from the BMW world. A couple of M cars, I had a couple of M3s before I picked up this 4Runner. Frankly, I know a lot of guys who come from the M3 world into the 4Runner. And so, you know, I wasn't really willing to pay 10, 12, 15 over sticker for basically the same car. It's the same motor, it's the same, you know, horsepower, it's the same, you know, other than the suspension, the wheels, I mean, everything, it's the same car. So I decided I'm gonna, you know, I would take all the extra time and money that I would save by, you know, not buying a pro and essentially turn it into a pro. So, I mean, this car has the full TRD Pro suspension, obviously the TRD Pro wheels. Yeah, I did want a sunroof, so obviously can't get that on a TRD Pro, at least not in the US as far as I know. And, you know, the front grille, things like that, all those styling cues, which, you know, frankly are a drop in the bucket, especially in comparison to BMW parts prices. So kind of a no-brainer for me, especially, you know, since I like to do stuff to my cars anyway. It just gave me, you know, the time, the ability to, you know, spend some time working on the car a little bit. And I'm kind of glad I did it. I think the only thing that I would have maybe done differently is trying to find an off-road premium without KDSS. You know, there's mixed reviews on the KDSS, and while I don't love it, I also don't hate it either. It's created more of a stumbling block when you're, you know, installing suspension, when you're installing skid plates. It's you know, when you're installing sliders, it just creates more of a problem than anything. So, I mean, that's about it. I do love the car. I hope all of you guys love yours as well. I assume that's why many of you are watching this video. And enjoy. See you guys around.